biblical scriptures from the Kabbalah, particularly the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, and a lot of other cool mystery sources. So, anyways, welcome and thank you for being here. And if it's not 11 a.m. on Sunday morning Eastern time, well, then you're watching this as a video. So you might. Oh, okay. There went. It looked like there's nobody here for a second. Okay, so we're gonna dive right in just a second. Um, One thing I wanted to say, actually, a couple things that I wanted to say, but firstly, one is that today the sun goes out of Scorpio and goes into Sagittarius, and I don't know the exact details of what planets are going, but I know Mercury either already went into Sagittarius or it's about to, and Mars is going to leave Scorpio unless that's happened already. Long and the short of it is that we're coming out of that very kind of mystical, deep, transformative, secretive energy of Scorpio, and then we're moving into the straight shooter Sagittarius. So that's really about truth and honesty. So what's happening with this astrological shift is that things that have been suppressed are going to start to come to the surface. And we had a really, really powerful lunar eclipse. A lot of you joined us on our transmission. It was a really, really strong transmission. If you missed it, well, you can bring the eclipse energies back by just doing the transmission again. It's valid forever. And what happens in the eclipses is it's such an intense focus of energy that it actually takes up to 6 months for the effects to happen. And then in December, the 4th, or in some parts of the world, the 3rd, I think, there's a total solar eclipse. So the eclipse seasons are harbingers of change. And I'll say it now. I was gonna wait till the end, but I'm really super psyched and excited because on Thanksgiving we're not gonna do an upload. I'm gonna do a live channeling and an activation for Thanksgiving. That's gonna be at 1 o'clock Eastern time live, and then anytime it's a video. And my guides, I every night I do some meditation, I do some stretching. That's part of my evening routine. And then I get messages from spirit, and they were saying that to do this transmission, because they're going to activate the blessing code. So they're going to do some heart chakra activations for us, and activate the gratitude and blessing codes. So these are light codes that we have, and it's going to allow us to go into a higher level of gratitude, which raises our vibration and raises our frequency. And in turn, it enhances our ability to consciously create our reality. And I actually have a video that we released on Thursday. So if you like, I would recommend it also that you check out that video about heart-brain coherence and the true law of attraction. We released that on Thursday. And what we're going to do next Thursday on Thanksgiving is we're going to do this meditation where I'll actually take you through a heart-brain coherence exercise through a guided process. And then they'll come through as spirits, as the guides come through me and activate me, and they activate you also. So they'll activate the blessing codes, and that raises your frequency. So one of the reasons I'm super psyched about it is that I just facilitate these. So when they come through, they're doing the same activation on me that they're doing on you. And if you guys were at the new moon full moon activation, excuse me, the Archangel Michael activation on Thursday, let us know how you're doing, because that was very, very powerful. And these transmissions last a good while, so there's still changes that are happening. And ever since I did that, I mean, for me, it was a really, really positive eclipse. The energies were super high. I felt really in a great mood since then. It's a really, really good activation. So anyway, wanted to share that and then dive right into the tarot. And because, so, in the interest of trying to keep these at 30 minutes, I've been running over, like, although there's no set time, but I'm going to really try to go back to keeping these 30 or 35 minutes. So I'm going to save the astrology for Armand Diaz. He has a channel called Integral Astrology, and he details all the aspects for the week. And then, of course, Sharita Starr, who doesn't have a face. Well, she has a Facebook. She doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she was on my channel talking about the next 3 months. You can find that Sharita Starr. It's about the USA Pluto return and the USA near death experience. So we're coming into that energy now, and so I wanted to share that with you. So, um, but again, we're going into Sagittarius season, more honesty, more truth, and so forth. So I'd like to do a little tutorial before I get into the actual reading, and then we do a meditation card also. And then we go into the actual reading. But this is a card that I picked because about a week ago, after the new moon, when I was doing my evening work with spirit, they told me that what's what's the right way of putting this? Well, basically that there's a tipping point's been reached, and the light is gaining traction. Over the we'll say the dark force. Sometimes I even hate to use light and dark because there's nothing wrong with the dark. All light came from darkness, but there are forces of control, forces of diminishment, programming that we're subjected to that keeps us in sort of a negative program. And the light forces are basically like our spirit, like our higher selves, like our energy or vibration of joy, of love, of connection to source and spirit. Anyway, the light forces are winning, is what they said. The tipping point's been reached. And the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot is really about the turning of the wheel and going into the next level. So we've done good as a collective. We've reached a new level, a new height, a new energy. That doesn't mean everything's going to change overnight. Those forces that work against the awakening, against enlightenment, are going to try even harder to hold on to keep people in the dark, because that's how they are. Well, I don't even want to say successful, but that's how they maintain control the money, control the power, keep people in fear, keep people in division, and all that good stuff. Now, on that note, on Saturday on Spirit Mind Family, that's our membership program here, we do a live video and a Q&A every fourth Saturday. And on that format, because it's private, I can say things that might get my videos taken down here. So we're going to talk about really what's going on in the collective, what's going on in the energies of the deep state or the elite or whatever you want to call the small group of people that seek to control the large masses of the population. And a lot of that's through suppression of spirit, through fear, through programming, and so forth. So on those discussions, I'm going to dive deeper into that and talk more about the specifics and what we can do to offset that and to stay in our power. So that is called Spirit Mind Family. It's the membership program. It's only $5 a month, and you're supporting this channel if you join. And we also have, it's also Psychic Development Month. So there's a self-hypnosis process that's very powerful on opening up your psychic abilities on that. So anyway, it just hit my mind to talk about that and to invite you guys to join and to be part of that group. That's our inner core group. So the wheel is turning and it won't slow down. I'm quoting Jerry Garcia now. um, and that's what this is about. And the idea is like the song says, we can let go, but we can hold on. We can what are the words? We can't let go, we can't go back, but we can stand still. If the thunder don't get you, then the lightning will. So basically, don't resist change. It's a good thing, even if it's uncomfortable, because our egoic self, which is part of our survival instinct, resists change because the ego feels survival threatened. So it tries to keep you in the same energy and in the same patterns indefinitely. So you really have to connect with your spirit and apply some will and some intention to accept change and to flow with the changes. And everything changes, everything in the universe changes. So we just have to just take some long, deep breaths, inhale love and light, exhale, release any resistance to change, and go with the flow. It may get challenging, especially over the winter into the early spring months, but it's a beautiful change. It's an awakening that's happening. So that's why I wanted to pick this just as a little tutorial. It's key 10 in the tarot. 10 is about the expansion and the growth. It's a new beginning because it reduces to one, and it's ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is also about expansion and growth. So, next on the list, I am going to, what am I going to do? Let's pull a meditation card. That's what I'm going to do. So in the Catskills, it's about 40 degrees out. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm going to go out for a nice walk because it's my day off today. Well, other than, well, this is part of my day off. This is my fun work. Oh, I missed 11:11 again. Darn it. Okay, so let's me just clear my mind a second and ask Spirit to help me to find the best meditation card for the week based on our collective consciousness. That includes those that are here live and those that'll watch this as a video later on, and how that connects to collective consciousness. And for this week, no, that's not it. Let me just clear my mind a second. Okay. All right. So this one very similar to the Wheel of Fortune. It's the World card. Although it's not quite a circle, it's still round, and it's actually ruled by Saturn. So Saturn and Jupiter have an interesting relationship with one another. Speaking of, I already plugged Armand Diaz's channel. He does the weekly astrology. So quickly on the topic of plugs, Amy from Elevated Spirituality, Tarot, and Intuition, or Elevated Intuition, Spirituality, and Tarot. Anyway, she does a more personalized tarot forecast every week, and she has a lot of goodies on her channel. I also wanted to mention Adam Z, who's a young man who has an amazing law of attraction channel called Manifest Yourself. And on YouTube, for every good law of attraction channel, that there's like 20 or 30 that I don't want to say they aren't good, but I'll put it this way. He dives into the heart of what law of attraction really is, the spiritual components of it, which is what I do. So we've been connecting on YouTube. So he has actually he's done quite well with his channel, and he keeps growing for good reason. So anyway, if you want a little bit of law of attraction input, check out Manifest Yourself channel. So the World card, what you do with a meditation card, or the way that I recommend this, is that you just kind of relax, get present, and either you can use this card from the Hanson Roberts deck, or if you have your own tarot card, you can use your own world card. In some decks, it's called the universe. And you just, when you get relaxed and present, you consciously step into the card. This is like a doorway, and you see a whole panoramic scene. You only see a tiny little snippet of the scene in this card. Wow, two big ravens just flew by the window. Holy moly. Those are definitely too big to be crows. Okay, magic is in the air. And you step in, and you just see what's going on and feel the energy. When you step in, you just gauge how you feel. Maybe some colors come to you, some smells, sounds, visions, and see if there's some guides there to give you messages. So that's how we meditate with that. I do feel like it's Spirit's way of saying also that in this time we have to create a peaceful world within ourselves, because be, because the tipping point has been reached, and enlightenment and people, what that means is more and more people are going to be awakening. It's going to be accelerating. That causes chaos in the world because there's a transference of power that's going to be happening, and we have to stay in our peaceful world in the eye of the storm, as Sharita Starr often says, that we have to be in that place where we're aware of what's going on, but we're not affected. And what I do in the morning and the evening, when I go into meditation, I prepare like I charge my aura with 4 or 5 dimensional and beyond energy, and create this bubble of energy where I can be aware of the lower 3D and the lower collective, but not affected by it. And that's a really good just meditation to do. Just feel your aura, charge it with like crystalline, like maybe amethyst, violet, or crystalline clear white energy, and just set the intention. I'm in my higher vibration, higher frequencies, higher dimensions, where the lower frequencies cannot affect me. And we're all connected to the collective, but this will help to shield you from the lower aspects of that. So, anyways, it's good. And Sharita is in. Very good. Um, yes, yeah, we talked a little bit about. I don't know, Sharita, if you were here from the beginning, but we did talk a little bit about the transition from the very kind of secretive Scorpio energy, like the Scorpio season, and how I think Mercury, then Mars goes into Sag, and Sagittarius is the straight shooter. Like that's about honesty. There's just like a group of ravens just flying around my window. They're like bigger than hawks even. They're enormous black birds that are just flying around here. There's been such a shift and such a transition. This eclipse was just like over the top, and really for me anyway, hopefully for you guys too, really really positive energy. So with that secretive Scorpio energy, everything held under, it's all like about suppression. It's like boiling under the surface. It's like evolution, transmutation. But Sagittarius is straight shooter. It's Jupiter. It's communication. It's connects with the government. We're going to see the beginnings of disclosures of several things, I think, through the month of December, and then when we hit Capricorn. Anyway, we'll let Sharita fill you in on that one. At the later time, she'll be back on the channel. So, anyways, so 3 card spread is really for us, but it's for what's going on in the world and how that affects us. And tarot is divination. It's not fortune telling. It's allowing spirit to give us information, because the future is fluid, and it's based on the present. So all time happens now. All possibilities happen in the present moment. So this is to give us guidance and to give us a heads up, like what we're creating right now. This is what this is going to be leading towards in our futures. But again, it's about wisdom. It's not about fortune telling. So anyhow. Very good. Very good. Yes. I'm just reading Sharita's comments. So, and as always, beautiful, succinct, and accurate. All right. So, let me clear my mind. No, this one or this one? This one. Okay. You have to get out of my monkey mind to do this. I can't think. I have to just feel the energy and do it. I think we got the cherry card last week. Okay. This is very interesting energy. If for those of you that were with us last week, the cards came out kind of very nice and light and gentle, and yeah, there's some interesting news on the docket, like what's happening in Austria, for example, and that might be the first European country to mandate vaccinations. And again, on Spirit Mind Family next Saturday, I'll have a few things to say about that. But stuff like that, Austria, Australia, we don't see a lot of what's going on in the world. We really don't. And there's a picture that's portrayed as like everything's going the way it's going. We're moving through this. We're doing things in a certain way, and it's having benefits and effect. But we don't see nothing of what's going on really outside of that, and it's not all pretty. I'll put it that way. Now, as these cards come up, the swords are air, but they also represent a lot of energy, like a lot of strife, a lot of change, and stuff like that. And the chariot, it's interesting because it's your key. What is it? It's key 7 in the tarot. So seven's it's ruled by the planet Neptune. Um, so it's very easy to get caught up in the illusions and delusions of things when this card comes in. But it shows two different paths, and it's almost like they're happening simultaneously. But the idea, it's not as clear in this deck, but in some decks it's like one horse or one line's pulling kind of in one direction, one's kind of pulling in the other, and it's kind of saying that we need to get like our forward movement more in balance. And it's almost like finding a little bit of a balancing point between two, I don't want to say opposites, but two different ways of moving forward in situations. Now, these cards are both pretty ominous. I think that's a good word. So this is going to be an active week. Expect your emotions to be very much all over the place. So my advice to anybody that's here and part of this community is to do a lot of gratitude meditation. And again, Thursday we're going to do a gratitude transmission that's going to be, I'm just so excited about it. I don't want to talk too much about it because then I'm losing the flow. But I mean, I'm excited because they're going to activate my gratitude, my blessing codes also as I'm working with you. So we need that, and this is making me feel like there's a lot of disparity. This 10 of Swords is interesting because it looks, it actually literally looks bloody, and it looks very ominous. But it's symbolic. It's like a death rebirth. Death rebirth. That's what's happening in the USA. That's what's happening in the world, because what happens in this country, this mere 2% of the globe. That's how big the USA is. 2% of the globe. And of course, the globe is 70% water. So that, what does that make it? About 7 to 8% of land masses is the USA. But this tiny country has a ripple effect throughout the world. So what happens here as we get to our Pluto return, and we're in the final approach to that now. So it's really already happening, but it hits in February. Pluto's about death rebirth and about regeneration. So and again, check out the video with Sharita Starr. She went into depth, not death, although, yeah, death, but depth, into what this all means, and meted out a lot of the astrology and numerology around it. The idea is to be prepared. Yeah, and things need to fall apart. The tower has to fall for a new structure to be built. That's what's happening. It's not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing, but you do need to be prepared. You do need to be aware. And I think that this is showing the Chariot card is a very positive energy, flanked with, I wouldn't say these are negative cards, but they're certainly challenging cards. The Knight of Swords is very erratic. It's about news. It's about movement. It's reversed also. Um, don't believe everything that you hear. Question everything. I would say not to be negative, but question everything, and trust spirit and trust your heart. The only way you can trust your heart is if you get into your heart. The only way you can do that is if you shut out all the noise and get quiet and still and vibrate through the heart. Do heart brain coherence. So we are telling you, we are demanding of you to, if you don't know that practice, to watch the video right after this on heart brain coherence. It's only 2 days old. It's still hot off the press. We need that practice. We need to vibrate at the heart frequency now. Very, very important. Um, but other than that, this is also about things falling. It's about unrest, strife, challenge. But we need that. Feeling about that is that people standing up more and more, questioning the control aspects of what's going on in the governments. People are waking up. That means they're starting to connect the dots more. They're starting to see, how things were handled versus how things could have been handled. And in another way of dealing with things, though certain companies may not have made such a large profit, it would have had a much better effect on the trajectory of a pandemic, basically. So, anyways, these are things that are coming out. As I'm talking about this, I'm seeing something around UFOs. So we may hear some news about this week or the following week about some extraterrestrial connections, or you personally may start to link in more with like Arcturians or Pleiadians or Syrian uh, extraterrestrials. They're really, actually, I see them more as interdimensional beings than extraterrestrials. But um, but as I'm talking, they're saying, but it's because we've developed the ability to become multidimensional, and humans had that ability also. That's part of the awakening. So as the DNA codes continue to activate, and if you guys are doing the activations with me here on the channel, you're accelerating the process of that, because once your energy fields, your vibration reaches a certain threshold, that's when the dormant DNA codes start to light up and awaken. And the more people that do that, the more the collective reaches that threshold, and the more people that awaken to that. So once that happens, then you see things from in a very different light and a very different vantage point. You see things from the vantage point of the heart rather than the ego, rather than through fear. And we're going to be tested a lot, so stay in your lane. That's the message. I feel like this is a really high, powerful, beautiful week ahead, but you may experience a lot of emotional ups and downs, and because swords are about air and about the mind, just don't buy into the thinking. Don't buy into that. The thinking of those that want to control things. Anyway, I think we all get the idea, right? So let's move on, because it's already, I said I'm going to try to keep these to a half hour. That may not be possible with all the information that keeps coming out, but we'll do our best. So this is my Native American tarot deck. Here's where we need the glasses. Wow, I look smart all of a sudden. So here we go. I feel like Spirit's saying, make sure you all get out into some fresh air and get a little bit of sunshine and vitamin D, especially this time of year where the sun angle is so low. And we need all that we can get. Okay, this card. This card is Mockery. Interesting. It came out reversed. That's the card that I pulled. 10 of Pipes. I don't even know what two pipes would relate to. Swords, maybe? I think they're wands or rods, actually, not swords, or the 10 of Pipes. I almost feel like it's sort of supporting what I was saying in the other deck, that that a lot of the illusion is being dispelled, and that can be a painful process when things get pulled out from under us, when the rug gets pulled out from under us. Again, the idea is to vibrate at the heart and to understand, that the change happens around you, but as long as you're present, you're steady. Your spirit is the only thing that lasts forever. Everything else in this material world is temporary, whether it's good or bad, right? The expression, this too shall pass. So everything that we have here is illusion. It's what the Vedics and Hindus call Maya. It's not real in the perspective of spirit. It's a manifestation, but it's an illusion because it's not permanent. Spirit's the only thing that will last forever, and I really feel like that's the message they're trying to give us. Like it's fine to let go of things. It's not easy, but that seems to be the underlying message for this week, which is appropriate as we're really starting. Today we're starting to go more into the waning moon cycle now, which is very conducive to releasing and letting go of things. So next, we'll get a little message from our animal guides. Okay, this one. I was close. I was seeing a bird, although I was seeing a turkey, because it's Thanksgiving, maybe. Blue herons. A lot of people have been seeing blue herons lately. Yes, they certainly come and visit me enough. Make a stand. We got this, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We got blue heron also. Make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. Yes, that just adds to the point. Besides fear, fear is a controlling mechanism. That's why everything that you hear on the news is fear based. When we're in our fear, we surrender our power to an outside force, basically. Well, at least this brand of fear. But what's really happening is the emotion of fear is about our survival. So we should feel fear if like a pterodactyl is flying overhead and about to swoop down, because then we release that cortisol, that adrenaline. We get that burst of superhuman strength. But we take energy from other sources of our being. One of them's the immune system, by the way. It's like if a tiger's chasing you, you don't need your immune system in that moment. So the body takes energy from that and puts it into the danger at hand. Flipping on the news is not dangerous, so we shouldn't feel fear, but we're programmed to feel that, and that's how they're able to sort of guide the thinking and guide the negative thinking and shut off our connection to knowledge. Now, another control mechanism is guilt, shame, and regret. On the Hawkins emotional frequency scale, these are even lower frequencies than fear, believe it or not. So having guilt, having shame, and having regret is an even lower emotional frequency. That gets eradicated when you're present. And then the whole thing about guilt or about shame or whatever it is, we don't feel that anymore because we understand that whatever we're feeling shameful about it, it's part of our growth, it's part of our learning, it's part of our lessons and everything. So anyway, so make a stand, do it wisely and smartly. You don't go into the Kobayashi Maru, the no-win scenario aspect of things. So to make a stand, we have to be strategists. We have to be warriors. And you know, the idea is that to apply your energy and will to where it's going to make a difference rather than making it an emotional reaction. Like, I have to do something. I have to make a difference. I can't let these MFers win. I can't let this happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You have to get out of that and get into your heart, get into that space of love. And from there, then you access your warriorship energy. And the art of the warrior is when you're faced with danger and you're faced with that you maintain your connection to spirit or source. Because when we go into fear, we sever that. That's another function of our energy fields that gets lost temporarily when we're faced with a danger. And that's how people don't overcome the dangers at hand, but the warrior always remains in their center, always remains relaxed. We feel fear and we respond to it, but we don't allow the fear to shut off our connection to our higher self or our source. So this is the message of the blue heron, I believe, to not allow that to happen. No matter what happens, no matter what supplies are cut off, whether the food chain's cut off, whether the governments try to do whatever they do, that sacrificing your free will of what you want to do with your own body and your own life. Don't buy into that, and don't let them shame you and guilt you, basically. So that's the message for that as well. Thank you, Claire. Please, yes, hit the like button. Let's get these messages out to more people. Although the YouTube algorithm is something that I don't have a whole lot of faith in, but it all helps anyway. The idea is when you're authentic and you're of the heart, people are going to find you. But yeah, please hit the like button, and thank you, Claire, for that. So this is our messages from the angels. I went back to the messengers from the angel cards for today. We got Bethany. This is one of Doreen Virtue's many decks. She looks very kind of elegant. When you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat today, such as a massage, sea salt bath, or pedicure. Always a good reminder. Take good care of yourself. You matter. Like in an airplane, there's a reason that if there's a problem, they say to secure your airbag before your child's airbag, because just on the theory that if you die, you're not a heck of a lot of good for your children. So if you don't take good care of yourself, you're not going to be an effective teacher, or an effective healer, an effective way shower, an effective light worker. And people that are light workers are light workers with their compassion. We want to help people. It's very tempting to sacrifice our own needs for others, but it's also an ego response. We have to understand. It's almost like our egos are like, well, I'm so high and mighty and lofty, and I'm so great that I'm going to ignore myself and help other people. But you know what? That's not going to work. So when you get into your heart and your compassion, you always take top care of yourself. You put yourself first and foremost, because that's what's necessary for you to be able to be there for everybody else, and to be effective in the changes that are going on in the society. So that's not being selfish, it's being self-aware. To me, selfish would be like saying F you to your family and going out drinking and wrecking the car. That would be selfish. But taking good care of yourself, that's a gift to everybody. That's a gift to your community. So that's my final message of the day. So we managed to keep it to 40 minutes. Egos will not be well supported these next 6 months. No, they will not be well supported. That's why it's a good idea to understand your ego. And the ego is not the enemy. The ego is supposed to be the servant of the spirit in this earth walk, but the servant thinks it's the master. That's the problem here. So anyway, at least that's my take on it. So on that note, thank you, dear ones. Again, Thursday, no upload because it's Thanksgiving. Heather Istar, our amazing healer, as well as our editor, we give her Thanksgiving week off from editing videos and doing stuff like that. But I'm going to be doing a live stream, and it's going to be a blessing activation, like a light code activation to start to activate the blessing codes and to bring you into your next level of compassion and your next level of truth. So hope you can join me. It's 1 p.m., so I'm timing this after the parade, but before people sit down for their meals. If you can't join me live, it's Thanksgiving. We all understand that, but this will be up as a video, and you can work with this at any time that you want. And that's what I have. So have a blessed day, and thank you, everybody. Be well. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.